Hello viewer, how are you? Okay, we're going to do a bit of a longer video this time, not a mad rush through in 40 seconds because this one's all about unsecured loans. We're trying to answer the questions that we see, either we get asked or that we see on the internet, and this one is about what are unsecured loans basically, what are they and how do they work? So what does it mean if a loan is unsecured? You've essentially got two types of loans, secured loans and unsecured loans. A secured loan means the loan, the money that you have borrowed, is secured on something you have made available, usually a house. So if you don't repay the loan, the bank can take your house. If you secure it on a car, they will take your car if you can't pay the loan back, and all other negotiations have failed. So that's essentially the difference. An unsecured loan means it's not secured on anything. It is, of course, secured on your good word, but they can't snatch that back. You've given it, and if you don't pay the loan, that's your good word gone. And then you've got bad credit. Nobody wants bad credit. There's a bit of shame around it as well. We don't want shame attached to these things, you know. Everyone's done it. We've all been in situations where we couldn't afford to pay this, that, or the other, and had to hide behind the door while someone's knocking on it trying to get their money back. Life happens, unfortunately, and we live in a debt-based world. You might have noticed. So that's the difference between a secured loan and an unsecured loan. One is secured on an item like a house or a car or an item of jewelry. That's secured. The other is unsecured, and that's secured on nothing at all except your say-so. So is an unsecured loan a good idea? Well, it's a good idea if you've got no money and you've got nothing to back your loan up with. Unsecured loans will always cost more than secured loans because the lender is taking more of a risk. If they've got your property to fall back on and snatch, then there's far less risk to them. They can afford to lend you money at a cheaper rate. So the answer to the question is it a good idea? It's a good idea if you've got no other choice. No one wants to borrow money, but 85% of the UK public is in debt in one way or another, and that's only going to be credit cards, loans and mortgages, or personal debt, you know. But 85%, that's nearly everyone. I wonder who the 15% are who don't have any debt. I'd like to meet them, although you can probably guess who they are. What is the biggest unsecured loan you can get? Well, the biggest unsecured loan that Badger Loans does is £15,000. There's one or two lenders on the panel of 50 who will go up to 15,000. But in terms of unsecured loans in general, the highest unsecured loan you can get is £25,000. I could be wrong on that. It may have changed, but that's what it always was when talking about personal loans, unsecured loans. You might want to ask, what's the difference between a personal loan and an unsecured loan? The answer to that question is there is no difference at all. It's the same thing. The personal loans are also called unsecured loans, just to confuse the issue. Are unsecured loans harder to get approved for? Well, again, that's an easy, a tricky question, really. I mean, are they harder to get approved for than what? They're not harder to get approved for than a secured loan, but because, again, the lender's got the security of knowing there's something they can take off you if you don't repay it. So with an unsecured loan, they're going to do maybe more checks. They're taking more of a risk. So are they harder to get approved for? Slightly, but they're much quicker to get approved for. Remember, I've done another video on what's the easiest loan to get, and it goes secured, guarantor, unsecured. And guarantor loans are also unsecured loans. Just to confuse it even more, it's an unsecured loan which is secured on the good word of the guarantor. So you're not putting up any security for it, but you are putting up the good word and the good credit rating of the guarantor, but it's still an unsecured loan. So that's unsecured loans for you in 4 minutes. And hopefully you're less confused than you were 4 minutes ago. Unsecured, what does it mean? We've covered that. If a loan is unsecured, you now know the difference between secured and unsecured. Is it a good idea? Well, if you've got no money, it's a great idea. The biggest unsecured loan you can get at Badger's 15, in general 25. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 25. And are they harder to get? Well, they're slightly harder to get than a secured loan, but a hell of a lot quicker to get. That's it. That's unsecured loans done. Thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, goodbye.